he's pushing the project along as hard as he can. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, my brother in Christ, my customer, Neal Freeman.
Wow, thank you for that great introduction, Kevin. Lake Point is the first project we've done with Thompson Grading, and I can tell you it won't be the last one. I have learned that they are a group of integrity. They have a can-do spirit, and it's just been a real pleasure to work with them. And also, I want to mention the Brassville Gory, who's our construction manager. It's an amazing team. It's a heavy lift, but if you've been by our site, you see that they're getting it done. I also want to mention Jessica Orsini of our marketing group. Smartages is here with us today. I'm not very good with audiovisuals, so she's here to help me along on that. But on behalf of the Lake Point team, I want to bid greetings and want to welcome you and invite you to come visit us. Our marketing center sits up on top of the hill there, overlooking the wakeboard park and the South Campus, and we would love to get to know you a little bit better, because I believe that life is all about relationships, whether that's with your spouse, your children, your neighbors, your coworkers, your fellow counties, or your Creator. It's all about relationships. And so I commend each one that's here today. You are here because you're trying to foster relationships, either in the business community or personal. So I support that completely. I believe also that life is about having fun and living out your passions. I had the distinct privilege of giving the commencement address to the Wesleyan School in 2008. And as pretty much every commencement speaker you talk about, you challenge your students to follow their passions. And that's a lot easier said than done. It took me 33 years in business to finally find a place in Lake Point that I could pursue all four of my passions. Not in this order, but youth sports, real estate development, family, and ministry. And we get to do that every day at Lake Point, and I'm just so grateful. A little bit about myself. While I was developing, and you've heard a little bit about the public shopping centers, and I'm gonna just jump back on the relationship thing to give you a little anecdote. We have a company. I don't know if you've ever heard of Watkins, but it's trucking, it's seafood processing, bridge building, doorway manufacturing. Anyway, speaking of relationships, our founder back in the mid-'70s, Bill Watkins, was fishing buddies and good friends with George Jenkins, the founder of Public Supermarkets. And they're out on the boat one day, and Mr. Jenkins says, "Well, Bill, when are you going to build a store for me?" And he said, "Well, I don't even have a company that does that." He said, "Well, start one." So late 70s, we started developing Publix Inc. and shopping centers, and we've had the privilege of doing 51 of them, and we hope the 52nd one will be at Lake Point. We're in the committee approval in a couple months. I'll hopefully bring you some good news for number 52 coming in our area. While during the development of those 51 shopping centers, I was doing my best to be a father. We pretty much went where Publix went, so they were originally it was only in Florida. I couldn't get my wife to move, so I was on the road a lot. So, but I did my best to be a good father. And then that predicament. And somehow my kids, thank goodness, got my wife's athleticism. So I have a 29-year-old daughter who is an accomplished tennis player, a 27-year-old daughter who was quite good and fast pitch softball, and my son's 24 and he was a star baseball player. And somehow I ended up being the coach, the travel secretary, the equipment manager, and water boy for all of them. And but it was a great experience because as we traveled the country trying to find the best competition we could, because I do believe iron, fire and iron makes you stronger. And so we tried to find the best competition. We traveled from Colorado to Cooperstown to Myrtle Beach to Houston, all around the country trying to find the best competition in the various different sports. And one thing I noticed is that, and I was going around as a travel secretary, was how dysfunctional and how disconnected that the industry was, at least for me as a travel secretary and as a coach trying to manage these ball players and these families. And so I just kind of had this little dream about 2005 that, you know what, I think if we put everything in one place and connected them with some incredible ball fields and have the retail and the hospitality and the entertainment all in one place, that we'll be onto something special, because unless you think the competitive youth sports is going away, then we've lost our mind over at Lake Point. But I think it's pretty much here to stay, and what our statistics show that it's growing exponentially. Even at Lake Point, we started with 3 main sports, and now we're up to 32. So we're experiencing that same kind of growth. But so I had this idea in 2005, and so and I lived in Gwinnett, so you kind of gravitated wherever you're. So I assembled 400 acres in Gwinnett County, where 316 and Sugarloaf Parkway came together. And I was going to do the Field of Dreams. So I was going to do the fields, and then around those fields, the hotels, the restaurants, and the entertainment. You've probably seen this or heard this before. But it was only a Field of Dreams, and I was banking on people coming to my fields, and that was I know that was going to work. But then 07 and 08 hit, and there was no lender or investor that would give me traction or give me any time of day. So what I always tell my kids is one of the lessons sometimes you got to lose before you can learn how to win. But then also going to say is you don't really lose if you gain knowledge. If you learn from your loss, it wasn't really a loss, it was a gain. So let's try to go get some wins and gains. So my first gain was I gained knowledge that, wow, I'm so close, but I don't have that end user. I don't have that proven, what the banks and investors wanted. They wanted that proven EBITDA, that proven contract rent and the consumer throughput. But we didn't have it, so we gained knowledge. Unbeknownst to me, over in Cobb County, Earl Earhart, Ned Yost used to coach for the Braves, now coaches Kansas City Royals. Judy Sparks, the Smartages, and Tony Carlson were working on a concept where they actually went and got the best of the best in the sports organizations in baseball and soccer and lacrosse and aggregated them in one place. But they didn't have the mixed-use concept. And again, the same thing. They had a gain experience. But we had the same architect, Wakefield Beasley. And the Mar said, wow, you guys ought to get together. I said, why should we get together? And he said, they've got the tenants. I go, whoa, that's what I need. And then I met with Ned, and he says, well, you got what we need. And so we call ourselves the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I'm not sure if I'm the chocolate or the peanut butter, but what you can learn from that, what I learned from that, and you've seen it through history, if you cycle through the business cycles, and this has been quite a long run here we've had since 07. But there's still always opportunity in the midst of chaos. There's always opportunity. And we thought that opportunity might be in the banking industry. And if there's bankers out there, I apologize. This was our observation, is that if they get back a restaurant or whatever, then they can multi-list that with a brokerage firm. But if they get 1,000-acre-plus development, they need a team that can dream, entitle, develop, lease, manage. And we were very fortunate, and this is just providential, that we found an incredible county led by Steve Taylor and an incredible piece of property, 3 miles of frontage, 2 full interchanges. Wish it was flat, but still. Just an incredible piece. And not only do we find a great piece of property, we found great people. And that's just not for Bartow County. That's everybody I met in Paulding County, everybody I met today. This is an incredible region, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But what I'd like to do now is show you a little video. Hopefully that's kind of set the table. Just a little brief two-minute video about the project, and then I'll kind of go into the site plan.
30 minutes outside Atlanta, in Emerson, Georgia, a revolution in sports is taking place. Welcome to Lake Point Sporting Community and Town Center, the largest and most comprehensive youth sports tournament and family vacation destination in the world. With over 1,200 acres, nothing else compares.
It's a place that you go to and you don't leave.
Bringing together 17 of America's favorite sports with 16 baseball fields, 16 fast-pitch softball and junior baseball fields, 14 soccer and lacrosse fields, 7-on-7 football, the largest cable wakeboard park in the United States, an international caliber track and field center, a 100,000 square foot indoor facility for volleyball, basketball, cheerleading, dance, gymnastics, wrestling, and sports performance training. And Lake Point will also host the Inspirational Miracle League. All anchored by 3 of the leading youth sports associations: Perfect Game USA, NASA, North Atlanta Soccer Association, and LB3 Lacrosse.
It's going to make a scout's job so much easier. It's going to be a one-stop shop. You can go and see every player in the tournament in one centralized location.
Making Lake Point Sports the place where tomorrow's stars meet today's legends.
I'm Bobby Cox, a partner at Lake Point.
I'm Ned Yost, manager of the Kansas City Royals.
Let's go down to Georgia because they got a great facility there.
It's going to be an unbelievable opportunity for the game of lacrosse. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Creating 26,000 jobs and hosting over 4 million visitors annually. Lake Point Sporting Community and Town Center will be America's premier destination for the whole family, featuring over 5 million square feet of amenities, the best restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and hotels.
It's great for the families. There's many things to do.
Everything's there.
Movie theaters, shopping, restaurants, all the logistics to handling your team when you take them out of town is all taken care of at one spot.
You don't have to go anywhere else. I think it's going to be a place that people are going to be talking about.
Located in Bartow County, next to beautiful Lake Allatoona, and nestled in the foothills of the North Georgia mountains, Lake Point Sporting Community and Town Center is a place where people of all ages, from all 50 states, come for experiences and memories that will last forever. In 2014, you're invited to seize the turf. Lake Point Sporting Community and Town Center.
Okay, so hopefully that video gave you a little summary of what we're doing there. Before I go too much further, I got to tell you how we got Bobby Cox to be a partner with us, and sometimes they call me Naive Neal. So I'm talking with Ned Yost, and we're getting excited about how it was with this perfect fit, the Reese's Cups time. He goes, man, Bobby's gonna love this. His house in Marietta, his farm in Adairsville. I went, Bobby who? And he said, Bobby Cox. I said, Bobby Cox could be our partner. And so that's how it started. And then, and of course, Freddie came along because they're like the dynamic duo. So I'd now like to tell you a little bit about how do you take 1,300 acres, 3 miles of frontage, 2 interchanges. How in the world do you site plan that so it makes sense? How do you try to phase it so it makes sense? And we've had a lot of fun. But before I do that, what we're doing is we actually create our own asset class. Real estate asset class. We're going to win all the awards in that class, by the way. Our asset class is a sports tournament vacation destination. There are some people that will come only because they want to win this tournament, get that trophy, whatever. So to do that, we want to make sure our fields are the best out there, that our competition's great, our scoreboards, et cetera, umpires, everything about it. We also, some people, like myself, my kids are all grown and out. I'm an empty nester. I want to come and I want to learn how to wakeboard. I don't want to do that invert thing they were doing yesterday, but I want to learn how to, and I love hiking and biking and stuff, those type things. So I could see myself coming here as a vacation destination. But the real trend that we're seeing in this sports travel industry, which, by the way, travel sports is the #1 growth sector in the tourism industry. And what you're seeing is people are using their vacation time to do the sports tournament. So that's a little bit what we're doing. So 1,300 acres, and so we've got an active railroad. Of course, CSX goes through there. So that gave us a kind of a natural demarcation point. So this became South Campus, this became North Campus, and on the east side of the interstate was East Campus. We originally were going to start up here at the North Campus. We had long-term leases with the Perfect Game, the soccer and lacrosse, and we were going to plop them all right there and create an ocean, and the rest would be beachfront property. Another thing I tell my kids and people at work, you got to stay flexible. You know, life is. I spoke to the Georgia Business Club, and they're like, oh, okay, so everything's vertically and horizontally integrated. And I go, no, it's just about people and just reacting and just hanging in there. And so what happened was we got in there and go, whoa. There's nothing against Thompson or Brassville. They're just stating the facts. You got 13 million cubic yards of dirt to move on that North Campus alone. It's like, whoa, that's going to take a while. And in the meantime, we got approached by a guy named Austin Singleton. So Austin Singleton calls me up. I said, that name sounds familiar. I bought my boat from Singleton. Yeah, Singleton Marine. And he goes, that's me. I said, my kids grew up, they didn't grow up playing traditional sports. And the original plan was that we were going to do traditional sports. He comes in and says, my kids grew up on the lake. I want to do the first cable wakeboard park in Georgia. I want to do the biggest one in North America. I said, that sounds pretty cool. And so he ended up buying 21 acres. But we liked the business model so much, we kept a share of that one. It's a great business model, and they're great people. If you haven't seen it, it's don't stop on 293. Steve will get off. People are stopping on 293 to watch. I think like a NASCAR, the next crash that's going to happen. But it's really quite fun. So they ended up buying the land, and then we go to every shopping center convention, and we Bass Pro's got their booth, and so I just said, hey, it looks like you're covering Northeast Georgia pretty well, but you're not covering Northwest Georgia worth a flip. You need a store here. And he goes, glad you stopped by. We definitely need a store here. And I told him about Lake Point, and got to meet Johnny Morris and got the tour up in Missouri. And what he wants to do here is to do something, and this is not, the Cabela's folks wanted to be here as well, and I'm actually excited that they're coming. Is that great for commerce or what? I mean, the consumer's going to win big time. But the reason we went with Bass Pro was that they wanted to have a full experience. And everything we talk about at Lake Point is about the Lake Point experience. And what they want to do at Bass Pro is not just do a 100,000 square foot store with their aquarium, et cetera, but they want you to be able to go out the side door and test out your bow and arrow on an outdoor archery range. They want you to go out the front door with your hiking gear and go right directly into the hiking trails and biking trails. So it's a full, and if we can get it worked out that the Department of Natural Resources to work out some kind of fishery, then there's probably going to be some fly fishing, or at least some practicing on the Pumpkin Vine Creek. So all that about the experience. So all of a sudden and Bass Pro did something they never do. They normally got to give them this, give them that, but they actually bought their land. So we had two people who bought the land, and then Kevin and saying this is a lot flatter. You might want to think about working on the south side. And we went to Perfect Game and said, would you be willing to activate your lease now? And the same with soccer and lacrosse. Said absolutely. We're ready. We want to play ball in Paulding and Bartow County in 2014. And I said, well, okay. Well, let's change plans. So we got away from that plan. Talked Perfect Game moving 8 of their field. They were going to have 16 fields here. And again, all 16 of their fields are the size of Turner Field, almost 400 to center, 330 down the line. And we're talking about 16 of them. But now they're going to move 8 of them down to here. They're purposely named 9 through 16. So 1 through 8 with the stadium will still be up on the North Campus. So you're going to get fields 9 through 16, and then you get fields 15, 16, and 17 for our multi-purpose fields. All those are going to open in the summer. So we're going to open in summer. That parking lot, that little area right there will open in summer 14. And so that may not look like much, but that's we're activating like 12 different sports. And I'll give you some more data as to already what Perfect Game alone brings to us. So what you're seeing under construction right now is many of you probably have come up here and had problems with this intersection. It's been a problem for a long time, and so with the help of the county and the state, we are fixing that. And so we are rerouting 293 to connect through there, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So your life will not be in your own hand there. So. And then this is Bass Pro Trail. We're going to extend that over to the Bass Pro store. So that's, if you go to the site, that's what you can see. You see that work going on, and you see about $30 million worth of work going on in this area as well. And I tell you that the Graham brothers, I want to mention them, and just incredible, John D. Stevens, just incredible group of what they've done. If you've seen, they literally have moved mountains, as we say. This is an interesting area in here. This dark area here. One of the things that's big right now for vacation tourism is ecotourism. And so we wanted to, number one, we want to be eco-friendly. We want to be environmentally sensitive. One of our passions here is to teach the people coming here that we do things, we appreciate our environment here. We play the game the right way. And so those are the kind of platforms that we're going to certainly have. Here, we just put this closed 2 weeks ago in a conservation easement, 300 acres. So we have got 11 miles of mountain biking trails designed, about 15 miles of hiking trails designed in here. And so this will be for forever and ever will be a natural forest right next to the Bass Pro entity. So that's kind of the South Campus. We've got some hotels already under contract in here. We've got a drugstore you'll be familiar with. I told you about the famous supermarket there. And then some more hotels. I think I am at liberty to say we got Chick-fil-A under contract doing their biggest store with a double drive-through. So that'll be quite fun. So I think my marketing people say, don't say some of this stuff. Let them be surprised. So the other thing that's kind of was important, the only complaint we've ever had from any restaurateurs or hotelers or retailers is, wow, I'm giving them an amazing summer, incredible fall, incredible spring. What are you going to do December and January? Well, I should have told them, see our weather today is 65 degrees. But still, I get it. So we made a commitment to do what started out as an 85,000 square foot indoor facility. It's now 200,000 square feet because the demand is so high. It's unbelievable. It's going to have 10 basketball courts to convert to 20 volleyball, cheerleading, dance, gymnastics, martial arts, etc. But it'll also be about 120,000 square feet of open conference area, so that if you so inclined to have a need, we'll use that, particularly in that Monday to Wednesday. But it was important to have some of the winter sports in there. So that building alone activates quite a few sports. The front part of that building is even more intriguing in that it has become a sports medicine, sports research training center. Not only is it speed, agility, strength, and conditioning, but Coca-Cola is, of course, our overreaching sponsor, and the only thing they're in second place to Pepsi is Gatorade. And so they want to really push that Powerade, and so because of that, the Powerade is going to do their first hydration lab in the world right here at Lake Point. So they're going to a great education piece there. Also, we went over and met with Dr. Andrews, the most famous orthopedic surgeon, just nominated as one of the Sportsmen of the Year for Sports Illustrated, Dr. James Andrews, and he said, well, I don't really necessarily want to do more surgeries. I want to prevent surgeries. He said, if you'll have an injury prevention center at Lake Point with a biomechanics lab, you can put my name on it. And that's what we're doing. Children's Healthcare said, we want to have our name associated with this. So they're going to have not only a walk-in clinic, but also they're going to train, have a trainer on all our fields. And what parent doesn't love that? But one of the things that's exciting is that they say, both Dr. Andrews and Powerade, the data we're going to get, we basically are building a living lab, which gets me to one of the points I want to make sure is that one of our points at Lake Point is that we want it to be a place that makes the world of sport safer and better. How do we make it safer? The hydration lab, Dr. Andrews. CHOA, Children's Healthcare, said that just the data they'll get on treating an athlete that day, the way they treat them, the response is they'll make treating that safety, it'll be a safer place just because of that data. The Shaw Industries is moving their synthetic turf headquarters, their sports turf headquarters, into our complex. And this is going to be a living lab. They're going to have some PhDs, actually. What is the safest and best wear and tear? What's the best bounce? What's the best thing for abrasions and knee surgery? So that's how we can make it safer. How do you make it better? Well, FCA is going to have a permanent location here, and the message is pretty simple. There's a scoreboard on every field. Be disappointed if you don't try to win. But win with humility, lose with grace. And to coaches, we're going to pour into them and go, these players, these parents are watching your every move. So set a good example. And so that's the type of thing. We've got an amazing platform. And I tell people, we're going to make plenty of money. Paulding's going to make plenty of money. Bard's going to make money. Lake Point's going to make plenty of money. If all we do is make money, then shame on everybody. Shame on all of us. We've got an amazing platform with all these kids and parents coming from all over the country to really make a difference. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of preaching now. So let me get back to my tour here. On that, so we're going to build a bridge. It goes over CSX Railroad, and then we get into what we kind of our main campus. 14 multi-purpose fields. The remaining 8 fields with a stadium. Stadium's going to have 2,000 permanent seats, go up to about 7,000 total. And then we got 12 smaller fields, about 250-foot fences, and those would be for junior baseball, which is a huge growth sport, and also fast-pitch softball. And this area is the king, or so I guess in this case the queen of softball. And no more state championships come out of this region in fast-pitch softball, so I'm really excited about that. But so this area, what I'm going to do now, before we go to the next slide, I'm going to kind of jump over what we did here in this area right in here is we tried to aggregate all the retail and entertainment into one place. So in case there's no games going on, and right now we already have 320 days out of 365 already scheduled, but with events. But in case we don't have a game, I wanted to make this so interesting and intriguing so everybody in this room, your neighbors, your friends for 20, 30 miles from here goes, wow, that's a really cool place. That's an exciting, vibrant place. That's as good as downtown Disney, Universal Walk. I want to go there. I want to create some memories. So that's what we've done in there, and I'm going to show a slide that does a little bit better job in just a second. Before I leave this, we sometimes you do your best to make lemonade out of lemons, and so we got in. We did seismograph. We did amazing borings, months and months of it, and we realized, wow, we cannot cut 90 feet in this area. That's just too bad a ridge. It's too, the refusal's too tough. So we decided just to leave that ridge. Well, it's going to be some amazing cabins for corporate outings, for Sunday school class retreats, whatever, along there. But they also connect to this golf course that we both had Greg Norman and one of his competitors both vying for this. But we found Greg Norman's group to be very business friendly, very hands-on, and they've been to the site 3 times. They've already designed it. They've already tweaked it. And so it'll be a Greg Norman designed par 3 course. There's one hole that drops 70 feet down. It's going to be some dramatic. It won't be a little normal chip and putt. I mean, you've got to ride. You might use most of your irons in your bag, really. And with a driving range, one is public driving range, and the public driving range has a 360-degree view of this incredible region we live in. I want to live here. I feel like I live here. But so that'll be a lot of fun. And then over here, we know we need to have some water because people are just going to get hot. We don't want to compete with Six Flags. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is Lake Point is all about adding commerce, not about taking commerce away. So if it looks like we're going to hurt Six Flags, then we'll pare it down to a point more of an hourly thing and a smaller thing. Because we really believe in adding commerce, not taking it away. All right, so I'm going to go to the next slide, which, all right, that's the North Campus. And keep going. I'm sorry. Again. Okay. All right. You might have seen it. This is the view north from Red Top Mountain Road looking back. This is an easier way to explain it. Those ball field stadium I was telling you about is right there. You can't get to that stadium without going through the retail area. And we've got a lot of sports-centric tenants going in here. We've got a lot of quick-serve restaurants. You come down to an area right in here. If you've been to like a Final Four or Super Bowl, whatever, they all have that fanfare. We'll have a permanent fanfares. Again, all about the Lake Point experience. And then you get into what is our nighttime entertainment. This is our entertainment district called Boomtown. Now, I don't have all my permits for this, so it was a little bit of artistic license for this. So I didn't want Mayor Pallone to go, okay, I don't see. Now, we have checked with FAA, and we have met with the fire marshal about the evacuation center, but I didn't want you to. But, so a little bit of artistic license. But anyway, but this is a great story. So I just think this area is beautiful. The mountains, the Lake Allatoona. I just said, I want people that come to Lake Point, I want them to see how beautiful this is. And I wanted to see, be able to see downtown. I said, there's no observation tower that I can find around here. So I called a guy. I said, you know how to find things. Find me an observation tower developer, or designer. He goes, okay. So about a week later, I found your guy, but he's doing something a little bit more than an observation tower. And just go to the next slide, and then we'll come back. I said, what is he doing? He said, he has designed a roller coaster around the observation tower. And it's the same guy who designed the sky coaster, the Ferris wheel thing, and the indoor skydiving. So he's just a great inventor. On this one, what you can do is you can go up a glass elevator to about 250 feet and just see the incredible, beauty of this area. You can go to the second level up there and have we could have this meeting here up there. No, I don't want to take away from but you could have a corporate outing up there, a team ending banquet. But the real fun, if you're love roller coasters, you go slowly up the red and let gravity bring you down and invert you and whatever. So, yeah, good luck on that one. But again, why do this? Because we got one question we always ask. Does this enhance the Lake Point experience? So if you don't mind going back to the previous one, I'll finish. But we've got a nice 13-screen theater coming in. The guy called me the other day, hey, we want to do the largest IMAX in Georgia here. We've got some incredible themed restaurants that want to come in here. We're meeting today with a professional ball player. I guess I can say that. Ryan Howard is one of the investors in our bowling center up here. And so it's just exciting. But if all you want to do is just walk around the lake, this will be quite fun. Or if you're adventurous, out in the middle of this lake will be a 6-story ropes course. The only way you get there is to zip line. So, again, that vacation destination thing. So if you don't mind going to the next one. Okay. This here was just a picture of the volleyball, and then I'll finish up. And this was a little bit better picture. There's the stadium and going through the retail. Bottom floor retail, top floor office. Perfect Games moving their offices from Iowa here. Shaw Sports Turf moving their offices in here. We're moving out of the triple wide into here. Yay. But we probably got 10 office users that want to come in here. But anyway, so that's down, and that's another picture. Just keep rolling. Anyway, all right. So because the way I want to finish, I'm coming for a landing here, is I love the Chamber's, your mission statement. So what I'd like to do, I want to paraphrase that with 3 questions. I'm going to read it if you don't mind. How does Lake Point promote, support, and improve the general business environment of Paulding County? How does Lake Point stimulate a vibrant local economy? How does Lake Point produce a cooperative effect? I can't read my writing. Produce a cooperative effort to enhance the overall quality of life in Paulding County to its highest potential. First of all, and I've already mentioned, we're committed to bringing in commerce, not taking it away. Over 70% of our guests will be coming from out of state. Second, Lake Point is committed to being the high tide that raises all boats. If we do not enhance the commerce in Paulding County, we have failed. And I think I got proof that we're going to be okay. We've already committed to open this summer. So Perfect Game sent out a request for their hotels. And you can check with your local hotel people to verify this. 1 week, one sport, they need, this summer in July, they need 30,400 rooms. One sport, just to show the impact. When we finish our build-out, we plan on having 20 hotels with about 3,400 rooms. That means we're still 27,000 rooms short. We need Paulding County hotels. We need Paulding County restaurants because people eat near where they stay. So again, the chances of us not raising the tide here is non-existent in my opinion. Thirdly, Lake Point is committed to cooperating and collaborating with any municipality or organization who can enhance the Lake Point experience. So myself, and this is kind of Coach Freeman talking to you, because is that I can't wait to show off this region, this area to the rest of the world. We're gonna have a great platform. People are gonna come in literally from every state, but certainly from east of the Mississippi and Canada. They're gonna be here, and we're gonna get to show them how great this area is. So I welcome this county and everybody in this room and your neighbors and friends to come on as a host partner with us, and with the goal that every coach, parent, player, umpire, scout says, "Wow, that was a great region. I could live here." But at a minimum, I'm coming back every year. So that is our goal. Thank you for joining me in this effort, and thank you for your time.
I think we have time for a few questions of Neal. So, questions for Neal? Yes.
Oh, you know what? I didn't go there. It's such a long story. Right now, the East Campus, if you've seen it, it's a challenge. Not that 13 million cubic yards of dirt is not challenging enough, but it's extra challenging. So probably if there's going to be a residential component, and more likely it'll be a multifamily type residential component that can run with the land. So that's probably what's going to be on that side. We do have we are working with Emerson to take over the MREC and to fix that up. We're going to have some triathlons out of that area. We're going to hopefully turn that into a really an improved asset for the city of Emerson. Did that answer your question? Yeah. Others, please.
Back here, Steve.
Thank you so much for me. I can't believe I didn't bring that up either. That is a big platform for us. We are committed to every sport has adaptive sports, and even when we met with Johnny Morris at Bass Pro, he's going to have adaptive hunting and fishing. So every sport. Matter of fact, the National Basketball Wheelchair Association, federal associations, moving their headquarters to Lake Point. Right, you can't get to our ball fields on the North Campus without going by the Miracle League field. So we purposely put it dead center. We want it to be center. one of our things we're going to have, if you're a team and you got an afternoon or morning available, we'll give you an opportunity of several mission projects you can have. One is to be a buddy with the Miracle League. So let me share one more story on adaptive sports. We absolutely wanted to have that, and so, but you can't do the Paralympics. You can't compete or try to get the Paralympics or Special Olympics without track and field. There wasn't a person in our group knew a darn thing about track and field. I think, so not much track and field in this guy. So we did some clip art. We put a track and field on our site plan, and about 2 weeks after putting that up there, we got a call from USA Track and Field. Georgia said, "Hey, I hear you got track and field at Lake Point." We're like, "Yeah, we sure do." And he goes, "Well, I want to come by because I've got all these high school meets and college meets." And we're like, "Whoa, I didn't even know it was that big." And so he said, "You need to talk to the USOC." I said, "As in the Olympic Committee?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Why do we need to do that?" He said, "Because the next Olympics is in Rio de Janeiro in the Eastern Time Zone. 52% of our athletes live in the Eastern Time Zone. We don't have a training facility in the Eastern Time Zone. Do you mind designing your track for Olympic training?" And he said, "We don't have any idea. What does that look like?" So they sent their pro from Indianapolis who designed the exact width and the kind of flooring and the prevailing winds and scoreboards and camera angles. So we're going to have Olympic training track at Lake Point. How about one more? Yeah. Timing or dollars? We'd like to just a round number of $1 billion, but it looks like it might even be more than that. But again, that's not coming out of just Lake Point. I wish it was. Boy, nice to have that kind of capital. But it'll be a multitude of different venues, restaurant, hoteliers, restaurant, all believing in our mission and the Lake Point experience and coming in and investing in our county. I mean, that's what it's all about. I wish I was big enough to do it all ourselves. But we're just bringing. We have to do it through partnerships and relationships, like I said from the beginning.
Well, Neal, thank you very much. This is exciting. On behalf of the chamber, I just want to thank you and give you a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. It's an exciting project, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you and your folks in the future on this great project. Okay.